What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here for what is supposed to be Liverpool versus Leeds team news announcements. Honestly, we'll touch on that very briefly. I want to support the players. I want to support Jurgen Klopp. But obviously, it's a dark day for football fans everywhere. With the announcement of the Super League and the 12 teams involved, absolutely disgusted. We're going to get into most of this episode. We'll be talking about that. Please, the 6 of you who are already in here, I really appreciate you guys waiting. Sorry, I wanted to watch Jurgen Klopp's interview. But please give me your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. It's not going to be a fun episode for me, but hopefully we can get everything out there. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, just to kind of start things off here. Who's behind the stat? Hey, guys, hope you're well. Absolutely disgusted with the Super League. It's all about money for the owners, and they could care less about the fans. No, it's true. At this point, all the fans are to them is $60 tickets, and the view being on, Sky Sports, whatever is going to be on. That's the only thing that matters to them. They don't want to have to work hard for a Champions League. They don't want to have to work hard to make their money. They just want it handed to them. That's all the Super Cup is. What the Super League's going to be. They want to guarantee that they're going to be making all this money, and the fact that they're going to be getting supposedly $400 million a year for being in this tournament. It's just the rich getting richer, especially during the pandemic, where the little guy and the average Joe is struggling just to survive. The rich are just making their pockets deeper, and they don't care at all. And J-Doc, your point here, my dream of watching the Champions League match is under assault. Really disappointed. Completely agree with you. And it's a complete slap in the face for teams like, Leicester City, West Ham, who right now are battling for a Champions League spot, which would be absolutely massive. And to have the right and to have the honor of playing against some of the best teams in Europe from across the globe, across Europe. And now they're going to have that stripped in and taken away from them just because these 12 clubs are greedy pigs. Klopp's pre-match, I was just watching it on NBC Sports here in the States. I'm not sure if it was out anywhere else. But ultimately, listen, the people who are protesting at the game, I love that aspect, but don't call the Liverpool players a Klopp scum. They, like Klopp said, he and the players were not aware of this decision. They were left out of the decision, and he even said himself he still stands by all his comments from last year, not agreeing with the Super League, not wanting to do it. It's out of his control. So we'll see what happens at the end of the year there. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to walk away. I wouldn't blame him either. I don't want to see him go, but this is a complete assault on football as we know it, and it's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That being said, I just really, really quickly cover on the lineup and then get back to everyone's thoughts on this stuff with the Super League. Again, I want to support the players. Starting lineup is going to be a 4-3-3. Alisson, Trent, Fabinho and Kabak are going to be the center backs. Phillips has a hamstring tightness, so they're keeping him out today. Robertson at left back. We got Milner in the 6 with Thiago and Wijnaldum ahead of him. And then Firmino, Mane, and Jota is going to be on the right. Salah is going to be coming on as a substitution. Looking at the Leeds lineup, they're going to be playing more of like a 4-1-4-1 formation. Luke Ayling, Llorente, Skriniar, and Alioski in the back. Calvin Phillips in the 6. Hilder, Costa, Stuart Dallas, Ty Roberts, Jack Harrison across the midfield with Patrick Bamford up top. But honestly, it's one of those moments right now where it's just it's a war on football. It's a civil war, Brian. You're absolutely right. Absolutely civil war happening in football right now. Who's behind the stat? I just hope fans boycott the games and protest up and down the country. Hopefully they'll stop this nonsense in the tracks. Football without fans is nothing. Steven Stubbs, by the way. Yeah, Steven, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in. It's exactly what it is, Brian Conley. It is a war on football. Right now we're going to be in the midst of a civil war in football, as you could say. These 12 clubs, plus whoever wants to come. I saw a tweet, I don't know if it's true, that PSG, Barcelona, and Dortmund were invited to come in. They rejected it at first, but now I hear rumors that they still might be joining down the road. it's really insulting and just really disappointing. The fact that there won't be any sort of relegation, it doesn't look like there'll be any sort of relegation system. It's just going to be 20 clubs, 2 groups of 10 playing about 30 games, and then a playoff format. It's Americanizing. Ultimately, it's Americanizing European football, and it's absolutely disgusting. Being an American myself, Liverpool my favorite team for any sport. Liverpool well above any other team that I support here in the States. And one of the things that you love about it is that the little guys can always beat the big guys. And we look at Leeds United this year. They just got promoted, and they're looking like they're going to be a team who finishes in the top half. West Ham last year were battling relegation. Now this year they're looking at a potential top 4 berth. And Katie, right there with you, girl. As an American, I'm absolutely disgusted. I'm from Boston, so I'm very familiar with FSG. Being a Red Sox supporter as well, and honestly, since FSG took over, I was never FSG in, FSG out. They helped Liverpool when they first came in as keeping us from bankruptcy or anything like that. That being said, now I can firmly say I am on board of FSG out. They are showing their true colors right now. And what's disgusting is we always make fun of clubs like Manchester City, Chelsea, who just throw money at their problems. And it just goes to show that, FSG might be even worse because they don't want to spend their own money on making the team better, but then they just want to fill their own pockets with our money going to their pockets just to make them richer. Especially, again, I tie it all back into the pandemic as well. All of us average Joes here have had to change our lives drastically, fighting for every penny that we can get, trying to keep our families supported. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is all going to go to, John Henry getting a bigger yacht, getting Linda a bigger pair of tits, whatever it is. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at all. I was really excited for this Leeds match. I thought I was really, really excited. But this is really it. They've sucked everything out. FSG has really sucked the joy out of football. They don't want to work hard for success. They just want to know that every year they're going to have more money in their pocket. J-Doc, 100% with you. Angie Scanlon, FSG out. We'll see you in a little bit. Created by the poor, stolen by the rich, 100%. All the people who have defended FSG, even to the point of blocking FSG out at accounts, I said, now look like a bunch of fools. Seriously. It just makes me feel like complete shit as a Liverpool supporter, especially somebody who was not on the FSG out train, trying to go to bat for them, saying how they saved us from administration, how they brought Klopp in, how they've made the improvements to Anfield and not abandoned Anfield, and then they just go and do something like this. Absolutely disgusting. And I don't want to say it's just FSG either. Man City, ownership is scum. The Glazers at Manchester United, absolute scum. Roman at Chelsea, he's a scumbag. Whoever owns Tottenham, you're a fucking scumbag. Arsenal, you're a fucking joke too. You're absolute. Kroenke in the States has already been known as a scumbag. All right, so he moved his football team, who had a really good fan base, just to help him make more money. He's a scumbag. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening to the sport. It's unbelievable. I hope fans everywhere. The one thing I hope with this, the civil war that's happening right now in football is one thing, and I'll get to this point here. Yeah, it's really hard to watch Liverpool tonight. That's for sure. The one thing I hope happens is that all rival fan bases, we can come together as one. All have the same respect for each other in the sense of we deserve better. We're not just $60 for a ticket. We're not just a view watching the game from home. We're much more than that. We're the people who help build these clubs. I've been supporting Liverpool myself for 15, 16, 17 years now, something like that. And I never thought I'd see this day where I'm absolutely disgusted in FSG and in the club. And I really want to focus on this point here by our friend Katie here. Klopp said that he and the players were involved in any of this, and that's absolutely true. I don't want Klopp to leave at all. He's done so much for this club. But at the end of the season, if he wanted to go take on the German national team and do something like that, I'd be all for it. He deserves better than this. He made it known a year ago that he didn't want this. And the fact that they're still going ahead with it, and then now it's looking like too that John Henry is going to be the vice president, I think, of the Super League, with the president of Madrid is going to be the chairman of this league. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Leeds and Liverpool were singing together. I mean, I hope so. And of course, this couldn't happen yesterday before the Man United game. It has to happen before the Liverpool game. Always, always, always. We're going to be the center of attention. Klopp's going to be the center of attention. And honestly, Katie, again, you're on fire right now. If Klopp leaves, I feel like it'll be the final straw for most supporters. Mass chaos, 100%. And honestly, it's all going to be blood on FSG's hands. And I hope, honestly, that all the fans everywhere, we can all come together. And even when fans are allowed back in the stadium for these 6 teams, no one goes to a single game. I know it's going to be hard. We all love the players. We love Klopp. We want to be there to support them, but we have to send a message. I would love some sort of message to happen from the players tonight. Obviously, I want to get to 3 points. I don't know what's going to happen. Is the Super League even going to end up happening? This is all a ploy. I don't know. It seems like it's all finally coming into place for them, which I'd fucking hate. But I hope the players come out in solidarity and do something. Andrew thinks that he should give out John Henry's phone number. Yeah, let's do it. Let's somehow get a hold of his phone number and absolutely blow it up. I want everyone blowing up. If he has a Twitter, let's blow up his Twitter. Any sort of accounts that they have. Even Linda too. Let her know too. Like, hey, sorry. Obviously, nothing violent or anything like that. Nothing threatening. All I want is I want our voices heard. I want fans everywhere to unite, arms together. Let's do it. Let's get some protests organized safely. Pandemic safe. I want to see Chelsea fans. I want to see United fans. I want to see City fans, Tottenham fans, Arsenal fans. I want everybody to come out. Let's get protests going. Let's sign petitions. This is absolutely nonsense. Absolutely bullshit. And these 12 clubs should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, trying to ruin the game of football just to put more money in their own pockets. Because let's be honest, a lot of that money probably won't even go to the players. It's just going to all go to the clubs, make them wealthier and all that stuff. Yes, I am in Boston. If I can find out where he lives, believe me, I will be protesting outside. Anthony, thanks for joining us, mate. Would love to get your opinion on this as as a little bit more of an outsider to the Liverpool fan base. We'd love to get your opinion on all this Super League stuff. And it sucks. Again, I was really excited to jump into this lineup. Talk about some of the things in here, but it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. J Doc, fans stand as one against the evil. Yes. And then I think if the 99% would just unite, we would run everything 100%. And that goes to the world in general too. That's a whole nother conversation. But I just really hope that all of us fans can stay together. I don't know. What else do you guys want to get to? I can keep talking about how bullshit this is. When I look at the lineup, Salah's not starting. That's kind of interesting to me. Again, I'm sorry. I have no motivation to talk about this game right now. It's I find myself in this weird predicament where Mourinho got sacked. That would have been an awesome thing to talk about. But everything just seems numb right now. And I want to support the players. I'm going to watch the game. We're going to be doing a live watch along. But how can you even have any so much joy in this anymore? It's not about competition anymore. It's just about the security blanket of knowing you're always going to make money no matter what. And it takes the joy out of hunting for this top 4 spot. I would have been so proud of this team if we were able to secure a top 4 with everything that happened this year. And now it just seems like, what does it even mean? We're just going to, the players are going to be busting their ass all just to make the owners richer. I think J-Doc, you're 100% right. Feel betrayed, 100%. And I'm sorry. I wish I could be more excited. I wish I could be more, try to be positive, but it just does not feel like that right now. And I don't really know. I don't know what else to say. The 10 of you that are watching this live right now, I appreciate all of you being here, all of us just kind of getting all these frustrations out together. What I really love to see as well on Twitter is, not so much hate between rival fan bases directed at each other. We can all see now that all of our owners, doesn't matter who you are, all of our owners are scumbags. All of our owners are greedy pigs. And as rivals, we all need to come together. Let's put down the swords and spears, and let's let our voices be heard. Again, I want to see petitions going around. I want to see protests happening everywhere. Pandemic safe, of course. And this 99, I'm gonna keep this posted. Dugout, thanks for coming, man. Your call-in show was great. Listen to some of that. That was awesome. Good job, man. We need more stuff like this. I'm gonna keep this posted for a while just because I want this message to get around to any rival fan bases, anyone who's in here who supports another club. We can't let this happen to our game, okay? And I still kind of consider myself an outsider to this game. I've been supporting Liverpool for 15 plus years. And, being an American, I feel privileged, to be able to call myself a Liverpool fan. And, football was always my favorite sport growing up. I played in uni. My brother, who is the co-host with me, we played together at uni, actually. And we've loved this game since I was in first grade. I was playing competitively since first grade with this game. The MLS is a terrible product, and then when slowly but surely I was able to start watching European soccer, and obviously with FIFA, things like that. I learned about Liverpool Football Club and the traditions of Liverpool Football Club, and instantly fell in love with it. I mean, how can you not? And just watching the product out there was amazing. Some of the best football you're ever going to see is in Europe. And, I felt welcomed by the Liverpool fan base. I've never felt like I wasn't welcome to be a fan. Obviously there's always that, 5% of people that are always, support your local, blah, 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 things like that. But football is a worldwide game, and you guys have always made me feel welcome and always made me part of the LFC family. And I so appreciate that. And just the European soccer family. We all love the game. We all love the same game. The fact that you guys welcomed us with open arms and never had a bad comment in here about us, never had a bad comment on our Twitter page. I hope now that we can just continue this and now keep our arms open with our rival fans. Let's stay arm in arm. Let's fight back against this together and try and save this beautiful game. Because between VAR and the fucking monstrosity that's been in England with all these fucking line drawings and all this bullshit, and then now with the Super League stuff, ever since the pandemic, everything's changing. Everything is absolutely changing. But we got to stay together. I know some podcasters from Arsenal, from Chelsea, Tottenham supporters, Man United supporters. I'm going to try and work with them to do a special on all this to see if we can get our fan bases together in a chat, make sure that we're all united in this time, and really just try to let our voices be heard. The owners don't want our messages to be heard. They've already come out. The CEO, whatever his fucking name is, Billy or whatever the hell his name is, they don't care. He says that this is best for the long term of Liverpool Football Club, and he's clearly tone deaf because he knows nothing about the traditions that is Liverpool Football Club. It's about staying together. It's about working your ass off and working for everything that you earn. It's not about getting free handouts, and especially too, one of the things that probably disgusts me most about all this is that during a goddamn pandemic, FSG tried to furlough employees to help save a couple bucks. This entire time they've been snakes in the grass, having these conversations behind closed doors to help put more money in their fucking pocket. Absolutely disgusted. And I'm sorry for my language, sorry for my swearing, but I don't know what else to say. If there's anyone in the chat who wants to come on and let your voice be heard, DM me right now at Yanks the Cop. I'll send you the StreamYard link. You can hop in here with me. We can have a conversation. It's open to anybody. I don't care who you are. If you want to come in, let your voice be heard. I'm going to be on for another 20 minutes. So feel free to DM me right now. I'll let your voice. You can say whatever you want. Right there behind you. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I wish I was in a better mood. I wish we could have had some fun and analyze this lineup. Milner getting another start, Fabinho going back to center back, Jota starting over Salah. There would have been a lot of cool things to talk about, especially going against Bielsa's Leeds team, who like to play high intensity football. It's going to be a great match, and this announcement has just sucked all the energy out of it. It's really disappointing. Really, really disappointing. Yeah. I don't know. Our friend Steven Stubbs here. Football is about the fans. It doesn't matter where you come from. My motto is you never walk alone. I think our owners need to remember this 100%. Yeah, DM me on Twitter, JDoc, at Yanks of the Cop. If you want to come on, at Yanks of the Cop, all one word. Shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link to StreamYard, and you can come on. Would love to get anyone else's opinions on all this. It's a dire situation. And if you guys know fans from rival fan bases, let's all talk to them together. Let's stay united. God, this is funny too. Like, it's a super league, right? And Tottenham and Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal is what, 11th, 12th in the fucking table. I don't understand why they're so fucking super and they deserve to be in this league. But again, I'm not trying to insult them or their fan base, but it's, this is what the glory is about football. 4 years ago, Liverpool was, I think, finished in 7th place in Klopp's first year. Just because you're a big club with all this money doesn't mean injuries aren't going to happen. Doesn't mean that these other teams just can have everything click one year. It's absolutely disgusting. And it takes all the competition out. It takes everything out of the game. And, I'm going to retweet this tweet right here. Leeds United will welcome any Liverpool lads who want to join Ellen Road tonight to protest. Please feel free to do that. We'd love that, obviously, safely. All right, I'm going to be bringing JDoc into this momentarily here to get his thoughts. Just sent you over the link. Anyone else, feel free to DM me. Thank you, Katie, for tagging me that. The players don't deserve this shit either. I love the protests happening at the stadium right now, but do not direct it towards the players or to Klopp. They have nothing to do with this disgusting decision. They all want to be able to play for their country. They all want to be able to be represented at the Euros, at the World Cup, and they all believe in the magical nights that are the Champions League. Don't get it twisted. I think Podence had a tweet earlier where Bruno Fernandes already had reposted it, echoing his sentiment that you can't buy wins. You can't buy that shit. I forget what the exact quote was, but honestly, I'm really disappointed. I think we all are. Anyone else who wants to come in again, just DM me. You got JDoc coming in right now. Once he comes in, we'll get his thoughts. Anyone else who wants a thought, just feel free to DM at Yanks of the Cop. We'll get your thoughts in here. I don't care who you are. I don't care how small you are. I don't care how big your freaking, your following is. We're all in this together. Let's have a conversation. All right, JDoc's in here. I'm gonna bring him back in. What's up, JDoc? Thanks for coming in, buddy.
It's a bit disappointing as a young fan, I'm not gonna lie. I live in South Africa, so Champions League game, and the same with you. You live somewhere else. A Champions League game means so much to me, and I think, I don't know, just missing out on that could be so heartbreaking for me. Even like a Premier League game, Liverpool versus anyone, for me would mean so much. So to this just killed me today when I was reading it this morning. I was just so down. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's insulting, and that's the thing too. I want to get your opinion on that as well. You and I, you being in South Africa, me being in the States, it's not always easy to watch all the games. You have to either wake up early sometimes and, be either at work or school, whatever it is. And I feel like we have to do, and even the local supporters, we do a lot. They have to pay a lot of money to go to the games. They pay money at the pubs to the local people to enjoy the game. how does it feel knowing that, the effort that you put in to be a good fan and a good supporter, all you are is just more money in their pocket and just a view. Now that's all we are. How does that make you feel?
It's just feel betrayed, like they turned your backs on everything that the club is. You'll never walk alone. Seems like they're walking alone right now with the cash in their pockets. It's completely against everything that Liverpool are and what we represent. And same with I'm going to bring this to other clubs. Every other club that's signed for this, okay, Manchester United. I'm not sure. I think one of the posters in their stand is like, without fans, we're nothing.
Yeah.
That's just thrown out the window. Chelsea, obviously a big club. Man City, big club. It's Arsenal, especially huge. And it's just, you turn everything, away from the fans. Without the fans, you're nothing.
Yep.
And I think if this league does go, which at the moment with the backlash, I'm not sure if it will. Hopefully, it's a bit of a. It's just I feel betrayed. As a supporter, you feel like, why would they turn this? FSG have helped us build the better stands, brought the players like Virgil, Alisson when we need to invest instead of pocketing that Coutinho money. They've really helped us. And now to see them do this, it's a bit, I don't know. That's just so mellow.
No, you said it perfectly with the "you never walk alone." That's our motto. You see everywhere too. We are Liverpool. This means more. And it just seems like they are completely tone deaf to the situation that's happening. They clearly only listen to their board, who again, their job is just to make the club as rich as possible. And they didn't think about the people who helped build this club. And a guy like Jurgen Klopp, who's probably been instrumental over the last 4 years getting Liverpool back to the powerhouse that we are. And again, even Klopp says it to this day. That last game against Real Madrid probably would have been a different outcome if we had fans in the stands at Anfield.
It would have been next level. Just imagine the fans in today's game. If the Super League thing, it would have been massive. There would have been all out, chaos.
Yep.
They're in fact they're very lucky that fans aren't here now, and stadiums would be wrecked. Look outside, they're chasing the bus. Leeds and Liverpool. It's not just like Liverpool fans, and it's Leeds. They also with them they need big clubs to have still a big league. Imagine what the Premier League would be without the big six. It'll be completely nothing. So clubs, even small clubs, rely on us.
Yep.
And it's just shameful. It's like you look at clubs dying out now because they have no financials. Even Liverpool, what is it? Some players were taking salary cuts just to pay the rest of the staff, and now you're agreeing on these deals. It's just it's insane, I was never FSG out. I was like supporting them, let them do their work. They did well for us so far. I don't know why people were complaining about transfers. To me, at the start of the season, we didn't need anybody until obviously injuries happened. But now I'm just completely out. It's just terrible. I don't know why. Anyways, and especially to be part of that club,
I think that's the thing too, right? Because as a Liverpool supporter, we know what the club stands for, and we know the vision that we have about the club, and all of the the time, the money that we've put in to be good supporters, the jerseys, and again taking the time out. I'm on the clock right now for work, and I'm doing this and trying to watch the game and doing all this stuff, and it's just it's a complete assault on the game. And it's also just a complete assault on our beliefs as Liverpool fans. It's again, we are Liverpool. This means more. Well, does that really make sense now? Like, do we? You never walk alone. Is that true? Since you just completely did not listen to anything that the fans have said about the Super League, what your own head coach has said about the league, and the players themselves, they're greedy pigs. And they're ruining the sport. And honestly, to be honest, seeing that Chelsea was included as well, I was pretty surprised because Roman seems to do his own thing and always try and take care of his own. And I was surprised by that. But honestly, when I saw Arsenal and Man United, I wasn't surprised about that at all. American owners, that's what they are. They're greedy pigs, and they're just trying to Americanize the game where There won't be any relegation. No, these 20 clubs will be in forever. And guess what? They don't have to work harder anymore. They don't have to invest money in the club because they're going to make $400 million every single year. $400 million every single club is supposed to make. And
there's no development. There will be no development in the sport at all to get to a next level play. There'll be so what Arsenal finished last. They're still getting 400 million at the end of the season. You know, it's more than what they would get for Champions League plus Premier League. It's combined. Just what combined exactly. There will be no drive to be better. There will be no drive to be the best. You know,
and I think also too. I mean, first of all, if I'm the players, I'd be rip shit. And any player who wants to play in that, you know, again for them, it's greed for them too. It's just going to be more money in their pocket too. And that's why I was really impressed with Bruno Fernandes coming out right away and voicing his displeasure on Instagram. And I just hope all the players everywhere, every player involved with these clubs, I hope they do the same. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out with those guys going forward with, you know, Liverpool players and the coaches, because, you know, Klopp got thrown into the fire. You know, he's the first manager who has to go out and speak on this right away. And, you know, the Leeds players, I just retweeted a tweet actually with Leeds players protesting with some T-shirts that they're wearing. Says Champions League and then earn it on the front. So make sure that came from Match of the Day. So feel free to check that out on Twitter. We have somebody else joining us momentarily here to get his thoughts. Our good mate Steven Stubbs, but you know, and also too, you know, I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but teams like Leicester City and West Ham, and just the Premier League as a whole. Like you think about when Leicester got promoted, you know, I think it was the next year they won the Premier League, and
it was so they got promoted, nearly got relegated. I think in December they were last in the league. Yeah. Then they fought to I think it's 16th. Then the next season they went and won it. So that's the thing.
Yeah, and all of that glory and all of this, the joy of even as a rival fan seeing that, like that's something that probably will never happen again. And also too, it's like, okay, so now they're going to be doing that against, you know, the best clubs are going to be like Leicester and Wolves and things like that. It's a complete slap in the face. And you know, a lot of those players too who get promoted from these championship clubs, there are people who had never played in the Premier League before. So going to Anfield, playing at Old Trafford, you know, playing at these stadiums are in Stamford Bridge. You know, there's something majestic about that. And being able to say that you got to play against guys like Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, a Jurgen Klopp coach team, it means a lot to them for their careers. And it's absolutely, like you said, the little guys are going to get crushed. The little guys are going to get crushed. And I'm so happy so many people are trying to get in right now. So I'm going to just keep extending this out. DM me if you want in on this.
So, yeah, so I don't know. Football's turned away from the fans. It's sad. It's just depressing, you know?
Yeah. It's sad. It's really sad.
I can't. It's just like, you know, you looked at these owners, and I looked at FSG. I'm like, you know, they're perfectly fine. I don't see they're not bad, and then they go and do this. We heard it. Remember, we heard about this about a year ago about the Super League, and I was like, oh, this is never going to solidify. This is just too outrageous about this whole competition, and the fact that we've gotten to this point is just what? It's just that these clubs have agreed, you know. The only club that I see that needs to sign this right now is, okay, I think Juventus also struggles with financials right now, is Barcelona. And the rest of the clubs are fine, you know. Roman Abramovich, obviously the City owners, PSG hasn't signed, which is obviously good. And you look at the German sides, which is amazing, you know. Isn't it that, I'm not 100% sure what the laws here, but in Germany it's 51% the club has to be owned by the fans, and then the 49% can be owned by owners. And I think that's the reason that they're not in. I'm not sure about PSG, but, you know, it's sad. It's a dark day for football.
But here, we got a good mate here, Steven Stubbs, who's behind the Stat podcast. He just actually launched that on YouTube. Make sure you guys check that out. But Steve, thanks for coming in, man. And I'll kind of give you the floor so you can kind of give your spiel on the whole situation here.
Yeah, no problem. Can you hear us all fine?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, just disgusted by it, in all honesty. I think, like I said in the chat, I just think that it's football is, like you say, is nothing without fans, and I think the fans should protest, and they should, not just Liverpool fans, but every fan up and down the country should protest. We'll just come together as one. This needs to stop. I mean, it's just it's a shambles, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely shambles. I'm gonna get one more fan in here. He's actually local from me out of Boston. We actually met at the Liverpool supporters bar here in Boston. My man Akiri. Akiri, can you hear us, man?
Hey, for some reason I can't hear you guys at all.
All right, we'll give you a second.
Probably get rid of my gum.
But yes, but Steve. Otherwise, it's shambolic, obviously, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but listen, you're probably a little bit closer to the game than I am and everything. I mean, I feel betrayed. Again, I feel like I was a little bit more of an outsider, only being a fan for 15 years, being from the States. But like for somebody like you, how does this make you feel as being a Liverpool supporter for so long?
It's absolutely disgusting. I used to go to the games. I'm not from Liverpool myself. I'm from Newcastle, which is further up. But no, I used to go to all the games as well. And just I remember when the previous American owners came in and were protesting, then saying there was a chance saying they don't care about football, they don't care about fans. Liverpool Football Club, it's in the wrong hands. That was what was said last time. I used to stand in the cop, wherever it may be. But like I say, it's not just about where you're from. Liverpool Football Club, it's a global fan base. Anyone from anywhere around the world can support Liverpool Football Club. It doesn't matter if you're from just down the road, or if you're all the way in America, South Africa, Austria. It doesn't matter where you're from. We all stand together as one, and this needs to be cut out. I mean, I think someone brought it up before about the furlough. I think within 24 hours, they obviously rescinded that and said that they're not going to do that. So I think if us fans stick together and we're powerful enough, I think this thing can go away, hopefully, because it's about the fans and not about the greedy people lying in the pockets, not just with our owners, but the other 11 clubs who are trying to profit from it as well. It's beyond a joke. A lot of people are just like, well, where's the competition going? Because if you just qualify for this competition every year, there's no competition. You've got it. It's like the Leeds players today with the Champions League t-shirt on. They've got a message saying "earn it." So, and I agree. You need to earn that position in the Champions League. I just think it's demoralising for football as a sport in general, I think.
Yeah. No, very well said, Steve. And I think your connection was getting a little fuzzy at the end there, but very good points. And definitely appreciate
All right, Steve, I can hear everybody but you.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, you're muted, Steve.
Akiri, why don't you give your point here as a fellow Bostonian?
How about this? I'll leave and try and come back in.
Okay, so he's going to come back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get Akiri back in here. He's a local guy, and again, anyone who's listening, if you guys want to join, just DM me at Yanks the Cop. We'll get your guys' opinions on here. But yeah, and Steve, I think you made a good point too. We're gonna need the huge fan bases from Barcelona, from Real Madrid, United, Chelsea supporters. We all need to come together in this moment because it's an all-out war on the game that we know. And if we don't come together and we still keep these rivalries up for the time being, we're not gonna. Our voices won't be heard. We'll be too separated, and we won't be together. Let me see if Akira can come in. Akira, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you guys
Cool.
hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
Perfect. Well, I mean, I'm sure you saw my tweets earlier. I'm in Boston, by the way, with Steve. I've known Steve for a couple years now. Soccer is my favorite sport. It's always been. And I've been a Liverpool fan since 2005. And my biggest, the largest reason why I'm a big soccer fan is because of promotion relegation. That's my biggest thing, compared to American sports where that obviously doesn't exist. There's no playoffs, which is what I like as well. Every game has meaning. And the last thing I wanted to ever see was a league where there's no relegation, a league where you're guaranteed, X amount of money or a certain position based on the fact that you just have some sort of historical relevance. When if you think about it, let's say they made this league 30 years ago, like City wouldn't be there, Chelsea wouldn't be there, Arsenal wouldn't be there. It would have been, Aston Villa, Bolton, Newcastle. Like, so why is it now that we make this league now, all of a sudden these 6 teams get to be the teams that everyone cares about? Like, I'm sure you guys have said it. Spurs never won a Champions League. Arsenal never won a Champions League. City never won a Champions League. Like, why don't they bring up Nottingham Forest then? Like, you got to pick. It just seems like it's all very arbitrary about who they picked. And then the idea in itself is also just something I just don't really wholeheartedly am against completely. And and then also the worst part for me was hearing that like Liverpool was like at the forefront of this. And I know it's not the club and it's just the owners themselves, but like that in itself just kind of got me going the wrong way from the get-go. And I would expect this from, United. I'd expect it from maybe Chelsea, but to hear Liverpool, like, I know John Henry, and he is the way he is, but to hear that the club, and I'm sure it's just him, and I'm sure maybe even the board members are against the whole idea, but to hear that our club was like at the forefront of it just kind of got me going the wrong way this morning. It just kind of ruined the whole day. Like, I'm sitting here at work, like trying to work, and it's just all I can think about is this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I cannot agree more. That's exactly how I feel. And then hearing the news that John Henry is probably going to be the vice chairman or whatever it is of this league, it's a complete slap in the face, and it goes to show who the 2 biggest voices were. It was probably Real Madrid and probably Liverpool, the ownership groups, and it's sad. I hate it. It sucks. And like you said, it's just sucked out all the energy of today, work-wise, wanting to watch this game. Like, I'm going to watch the game. We're still doing the live watch-along because I want to support the players and support Klopp. But it's hard to have any joy if you come out with the 3 points, knowing like, okay, so what? So now we're fighting for a top 4 spot that if John Henry gets his way, doesn't mean shit. Like, it's it takes away and then again, like thinking back to what's going to happen next year in this situation, it's like, okay, if you finish dead last in this league, no worries, you're still going to get $400 million and still be the same thing next year. But where's the ambition? Where's the ambition?
It's also, look at how the Premier League's based. Look how the top 4 races are, and for Champions League, it's just makes the Premier League. It makes like I said, in America, I'm right. There's no like relegation or that sort of stuff, and that's why some people move to the English and the European way. Of this relegation, you have something to fight for, put everything to the line to get there, and this is just bringing everything down. It's sad to see, it's still questionable to me. I don't see also where's the money coming from. Everything comes down to sponsors, and sponsors only come where there's fans. And obviously looking at it now, where they get sponsors, because everybody hates this thing. But anyways, it's just it's beyond.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. We heard about this a year ago, and my thing was, okay, this is just a marketing ploy by these guys just to try to get more money from the Champions League and maybe change the structure of that a little bit. And now seeing this come to fruition, it's absolutely like it's shocking. But we have about 8 minutes here before we go live for the live stream. So I'm just going to go around really quick. Steve, I'll start with you. Just final thoughts on all of this, and then we'll go to Akiri.
Yeah, definitely. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just going back, I just think because we've not long just had an investment as well with Redbird, 500 odd million. So it's just how much money do these owners really need? I mean, I understand that the way that the previous American owners left us in, we're in a massive debt. They've cleared the debt. We've signed some great players, but for that, obviously they deserve a bit of credit. But now all that credit's just gone out the window because it just seems like, yes, it is a business, but surely it would have made more sense to go with what the supporters said, and 99.9% of the supporters up and down the country would have voted against this. It would not have happened. Like I said, with the furlough as well, when they initially said that we're going to furlough majority of the staff, and then obviously 24 hours later they rescinded it. They've just made it purely about a business now, and it's not about the supporters or the fans. It seems to be us against them at the minute, and that's not the way to run a successful business or fan group, because I mean, we're worldwide, we're successful. them surely must be making a lot of profit, because I'm sure I heard on Sky Sports they've already probably made about 7 times the profit of what they actually bought Liverpool for. So if it's all about money at the end of the day, I think they should just sell up and find someone who actually wants to run the club and who wants to listen to the fans, most importantly, because it's the fans that pay the players' wages. And obviously, if the players, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of them wanting to leave if this is the format that we want to go down. I'm just not impressed, to be honest.
Well said. Well said. I love those points there. Akiri, your final thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I really feel bad for the players and then for Klopp himself, because it's like I'm like taking out my anger now like on the club when it's really not the players' fault. It's more like just the owner's fault. And I hope that, like, I don't know, you're kind of stuck between two different spots. It's like I personally don't want to support a team that's in the Euro Super League. Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, I would not, and maybe I'm too invested in Liverpool, as I think I definitely am. But like me and my younger brother talked about it earlier today. Like, I'm sure you met him before. He's a big fan as well. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to support Liverpool if they're in this," and I don't really blame him for that. He was like, "Hey, we'll find a club like Brighton or some club that just cares about like." And once again, it won't be easy if it comes to that, and I hope it never does come to that. But it just seems like all this money is going to be generated by fans internationally, because I'm sure most folks in England are going to completely oppose it. But once again, these owners, they just care about like the bottom line. So if they get fans in China, fans in India, fans in Nigeria, that's all they really care about. And if people watch, people watch. You know what I mean? Like look at sports here. If I want to go to a Patriots game, it costs me $1,000 to bring me two other friends, and it's like, what, the Pats don't really care about that, because they're still going to sell out, because someone's still going to pay for the tickets, right? And then on top of that, you have the TV money, and it's guaranteed, and no one gets relegated. The worst team in the NFL probably still makes more money than the best team in England, just because it's guaranteed money. So like, why wouldn't, from a strictly financial point of view, why wouldn't a team want that? It may ruin the sport, but then again, the owners only care about the money. But I don't know. Hopefully, this is all just some plot, some just idea to just kind of get more money, and it kind of just evaporates within a week or two. That's what I'm really hoping for, because I would hate to be in a spot where I'm either supporting Liverpool and they're in this league, or I'm not supporting them at all. I'd hate to be in that spot completely.
Yes. That's so well said, man. So well said, and especially the global aspect of it too. And they're going to get their money one way or another through this league. And even if the fans in England, do their job and do the work that I think they're going to do and oppose this, there's just too many fans worldwide. I think there's a lot of people in the States. Like you think about it. Like I think about it from the States perspective. When there's a football team, an American football team that doesn't get their fans in, all they do is they change where the team's located. They'll change cities. So then it'll be fresh, and then they'll have more fans coming to those games, and they still get their money. And all those TV deals for them, it's all guaranteed money. So these guys don't have to invest in their teams being better, because every year they know they're always going to have a team, and they're always going to be making money through the TV deals. And it's just it's insulting.
Well, look at I hate to cut you off. Look at Stan Kroenke with the Rams. Took them out of St. Louis and moved to LA, simply so the valuation will go up, because obviously it's better to be in LA than it is to be in St. Louis. And all those St. Louis fans hate him for it, but does he really care? And it's like, I'm sure he made it strictly for money purposes. So it's just, I guess it shouldn't be surprising, but it just is that this seems to be the biggest push they've made to date.
Yep. All right, final word, J-Doc, and then we got to close here.
It's just, we've said really everything we need to say, and it's quite depressing. Obviously I would hate for this to go through. I think though it's not going to go through, with the supporters being like they are right now. It's not going to go through. But if it somehow does, I'm going to sit in the same situation. Like, do I support Liverpool anymore? Do I, but good luck to the game today. Hope we win. No hate to the boys. Or Jurgen. Obviously, they've been thrown into the roughest part of the rough, with no decision on their part. I'm pretty sure all of them want to represent their team, in this game on international level. So they still want to play the Premier League and stuff like that. And also, I wanted to add that quickly. I'm glad FIFA still have that power to stop these players from playing in the World Cup, so they, decide for these clubs what's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
But Without that sort of power, just think about it. Well, these players would also just flock there. They would get higher checks and.
Yep.
But anyways, it's just
All right.
It's sad.
It is sad. But pretty much, hey, J-Doc, Steve, Akiri, thanks for hopping in, giving you guys opinions. I'm glad that we're all united here. And again, like I said before, all the fan bases everywhere, we all need to come together, let our voices be heard, let them know that we're not going to let them take over our game and ruin this beautiful game that we call football. So appreciate you guys. Everyone in the chat, really appreciate you guys as well. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. But pretty much the moment we end this podcast, we'll be going live for the our live watch along. So make sure to tune in there. I'm sure we'll be talking about this even in more detail throughout the match. So thank you again for you guys for hopping on. Thank you so much. And let's go support our boys. They're still our boys, and they had no decision in this. So take care.